Hi, guys. Good afternoon. Happy Saturday to you, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in today's video, I will be discussing my reaction to the first official trailer for X-Men Apocalypse. Looks good, guys. It looks like it's gonna be fun. Very exciting. Um, as you know, of course, I always have to. I feel inclined to inform you guys of this. I am not a big. Excuse me. Okay. I am not a big comic book fan or expert. I am familiar with comic book history if they're relevant to the movies that are adapted from them. But this Apocalypse movie looks great, and the character Apocalypse looks really good too. I know there were some problems earlier this year, a few months ago, and a few official stills images were released from the set. And, I have to admit, it was the funny comparison between Apocalypse and that villain from Power Rangers was pretty funny and uncanny. I'll give you guys that one. But I know a lot of people were really upset with how he looked. They were afraid they weren't staying too faithful to the comics. Of course, lots of fans are like that who believe in a frame by frame adaptation. But from the trailer, I think this turned a lot of minds around and it changed a lot of people's opinions because they're like, oh, okay, okay, he looks cool. He looks cool. I'll give them that. I'll give that a shot. Because I was talking to a friend of mine who was not at all satisfied at first with how Apocalypse looked from those movie still photos. But then we see the trailer and he's like, okay, that's pretty cool. I'm comforted by the fact that he grows, like he actually becomes bigger when he's fighting with Xavier in that brief scene. So, that it turned a lot of minds around. And I personally did not have a problem with how Apocalypse looked. I saw the comparisons to the comics and to even really good cosplays, and I could understand why people would be upset. I personally was not that bothered by it. I think he looks great. I think this movie looks fun. It looks like a good old fashioned fun X-Men movie. This should conclude I believe this is the end of the trilogy, which started with X-Men First Class, and then 2 years ago, or a year, more than a year ago, X-Men Days of Future Past, which I loved. And now it's going to conclude with X-Men Apocalypse. So now let's get down to business. So in the trailer, it looks like I'm not from. Keep in mind, guys. Please keep in mind, I am not that familiar with the comic book history or storyline. But from what I can gather, this is going to be a movie where it's all out war amongst mutants versus mutants. The clashing of ideologies and beliefs. Apocalypse sounds very much like Magneto has always sounded in the X-Men franchise. He has the superiority complex. He believes that mutants are the future and far better than humans, and mutants should rule the earth, and humans should just be exterminated or should be the slaves to their mutant masters. That's been Magneto's mentality and attitude for the longest time. It always has been. And that's probably why he sides with Apocalypse. Now, as to whether or not he stays sided with Apocalypse remains to be seen. But what I really liked about it was how the four horsemen were a metaphor for the four firm believers, the followers of Apocalypse. And it looked like it's Magneto and Storm, or at least two of them. I don't really recognize the other two. I'm a little unclear as to whether or not Angel is a follower. He may be a part of the X-Men team, but he may be one of Apocalypse's followers. In fact, Apocalypse could build himself up a massive mutant army, much like Magneto attempted to do in X-Men 3: The Last Stand. But maybe he doesn't need an army because he clearly is so physically powerful and so capable of such destructive capabilities that maybe he doesn't need a whole army. Maybe he just needs a few followers at his side and he can do the rest. And it's nice to see Mystique returning to Team X-Men. Go Mystique, that's great. Obviously her relationship has been rekindled with Charles, and it looks like they'll become friends and allies once again. Quicksilver is back, and he looks good. Obviously, it's been teased that his big movement scene or sequence in this movie will top Days of Future Past, and that was a pretty awesome, epic scene in Days of Future Past regarding Quicksilver. So I can't wait to see how they're going to outdo themselves in this movie. And Moria Taggart is back, of course. We haven't seen her since First Class. And that actress is usually pretty good in whatever she does. Very hot, too. God, what is her name now? Now it's going to escape me. I think it starts with an R, like a Rose something. Not Rose McGowan. Is it Rose McGowan? Okay, I'm gonna double check that fact later. But you guys know which actress I'm talking about. Moria's back, and from what I know about her character in the history of the comics, she's a fairly powerful and sometimes lover to Charles Xavier. But in this case, it looks like she'll be helping the X-Men learn about Apocalypse so they can figure out how to defeat him. And it looks like it's going to be all-out war between mutants, mutant versus mutant, all-out civil war amongst the mutants, and whoever emerges as the winner will probably hold the fate of mankind in their hands. Either Apocalypse and his followers will win, and mutants will rise up and seize the Earth, wiping out humanity, or the X-Men will rise up, defeat Apocalypse, saving humanity from the wrath of Apocalypse and his followers. But you know what? Who knows what the exact plot details are? I just think this looks like it's going to be one of the biggest. And when I say biggest, I mean biggest in terms of scopes of storytelling and visual effects. It will feature, as Bryan Singer has confirmed. Excuse me. As Bryan Singer has confirmed, it will feature the most destruction sequences out of any other X-Men movie. Or in the franchise for that matter, or even in any of the Wolverine movies. This movie will have the biggest, massive sequences of mass destruction and chaos and basically all out battles and war amongst mutants and possibly between humans and mutants. And what I'm really intrigued about as to why, and of course you comic book fans probably know this, and if you guys feel free, you must sound off in the comment section down below. Let's keep it spoiler free just in case it's translated into this movie. But why Storm is sided with Apocalypse? What compelled her to join Apocalypse? Or is Apocalypse capable of mental mind manipulation? Has he somehow brainwashed or manipulated Storm and tricked her into siding with him? Maybe he just wants her there for her powers because she is an incredibly powerful mutant, as we've seen from the other previous X-Men films. So perhaps Apocalypse just uses her or views her as a weapon, maybe? Or maybe she really does firmly believe and is willingly fighting alongside Apocalypse. I'm not too surprised to see Magneto there. Magneto's always been a dick when it comes to human-mutant relations. But he does remain to be my favorite X-Men character. One of my favorite mutants. I think he's such an interesting, complex guy. And I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with him in this movie. If he and Storm and the others will remain on Apocalypse's side, or if they'll realize that they're in the wrong and they'll rejoin the X-Men. So we'll see. Overall, it looks like a very fun, very exciting movie. I'm very much looking forward to it. I think the character Apocalypse looks great. The whole cast looks great. Xavier's finally going bald. I enjoyed that little teaser at the end there, indicating that yes, he will indeed be bald at some point during this movie. And the younger counterparts looks like they've been cast really well. Jean Grey, Sansa Stark from Game of Thrones, Tyler Meriden, or Sheridan, I believe his name is, playing the young Cyclops, and of course Cody McFeet or something like that. He was recently in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes as the young boy who befriends the orangutan Maurice. He will be playing the young counterpart of one of my other favorite mutant characters, Nightcrawler. Nice to see him back in action. Nice to see him on the big screen after so long. So I'm looking forward to it, guys. I'm really, really looking forward to it. What did you guys think of this trailer? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you love it? Please leave your thoughts and opinions in your comments down below. I'd love to hear from everybody. I'm always asking for you guys' feedback. And let's keep it respectful, civil, and, decent of one another's opinions and beliefs, of course. Let's not get too negative or hostile. But and if you are going to make references to the comics, please try to keep your comments spoiler free, just in case whatever happens in the comics for Apocalypse is translated into film. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more upcoming content and reaction videos as we get closer to the end of 2015 and the beginning of 2016. We'll be getting lots of new trailers for highly anticipated upcoming blockbuster hits like Independence Day Resurgence, Star Trek Beyond, Ghostbusters, and what else is left? And new trailers for Deadpool and Suicide Squad. So stay tuned for those reaction videos, guys. All right, have a great rest of the weekend, everybody. If I don't see you again, have a good one. And as we anxiously count down to the days of Star Wars The Force Awakens, which opens this Friday in theaters, December 18th. I got my ticket. I hope you guys do too. All right, everybody, have a great rest of the day. Thanks again for watching and tuning in here on the EdWord. Of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.